Good day, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to another technical summary video presented by me, Letty Janse van Vuren. Our topic for today is a summary that was issued by IESBA. It is on the proposed ethics standards for sustainability, and it's a very nice little summary. I know I've done a TSV before on the intention to issue the exposure draft. Well, the exposure draft has now been issued, and it's been issued just before the summary was issued. So I thought let's deal with the summary, because that's always the best way to go if you know nothing about something and you want to quickly just get yourself up to speed. I'm going to start off by looking at why this is important, going as always into an introduction, then looking at the actual publication, and then summarizing the most important aspects before I provide you with links to the source and bonus documents. So as you can see from my picture story here, it was issued by IESBA. We are dealing with the Code of Conduct. So it's with a new change in the Code of Conduct for all accountants worldwide. And it deals very specifically with sustainability, both sustainability assurance and sustainability reporting. And that has now become clear. You know, sustainability really has become the buzzword of 2024, and I think it's going to continue for a while, until everybody knows what it's all about. The abbreviations that I'll be using on these slides is ED, which is Exposure Draft. IESBA is the International Ethics Standards Board for Accountants. IESSA is the actual standards that were issued. So it's the International Ethics Standards for Sustainability Assurance. When I talk about the code, I'm talking about the IESBA International Code. And it says including independent standards, that's including IIS, which is the International Independent Standards. Those are obviously only for the sustainability assurance, but the IESSA also affects the standards for assurance reporting. So the two types of practitioners that we worry about in terms of our ethics and our code is the SAP, which is called the Sustainability Assurance Practitioner, and a PA, which is called a Professional Accountant. So these are the ones normally performing the sustainability assurance engagement, and these are the ones that are involved in the sustainability reporting. So it does affect all of them. So let's just see where we are in the realm of sustainability. Why this is important is because we always need to comply with our Code of Conduct. The IESBA International Code of Conduct was adopted by all the professional bodies in South Africa. So it doesn't really matter who you belong to. Your code of ethics is based on the IESBA code. Failure to adhere to the code may lead to disciplinary action. And obviously, if you adhere to the code, well, that will help you to properly apply your ethical principles. And as auditors, independent reviewers, accountants, all of it, we should be aware of the latest standards that have been issued, as well as any exposure drafts that have been approved and issued. IESSA has got to be applied by all SAPs, and then also it should be used by all PAs involved in sustainability reporting. So where your clients have got PAs involved in sustainability reporting, that will be applicable to your clients as well. So in January this year, IESBA launched the ED, including the International Independent Standards. So the ED on IESSA or IESSA, the International Ethics Standards on Sustainability Assurance. And what it basically is, they're regarding this as the new ethical benchmark globally. There's nothing equal to this, so it is the first ethical benchmark for sustainability reporting and assurance. And of course, the code was amended to include the new Part 5 of the IESBA code, or that's now in the ED that's been proposed. So the exposure draft looks at giving us a very clear framework of what our behaviors are expected to be and what the ethical provisions are that you need to use if you are a SAP, regardless of your professional backgrounds, as well as where you are a PA involved in the sustainability reporting. The reason why these standards have come about is to mitigate greenwashing. Right. That's what it's about. Greenwashing is like window dressing for financial statements, where people get creative and they do creative accounting to make their financials look more healthy. Greenwashing is exactly the same, whereby they will get creative with their sustainability reporting to make it seem like they are more green than they really are. So the standards here are given to us to elevate the quality of the sustainability information. And of course, because we've got all the standards now, we've got the accounting and the auditing standards or the assurance standards, the ethics standards need to be in place to make sure that it is actually properly applied. So today is all about the summary document that's been released or that's been published on the recently released exposure draft on IESSA. Okay. So let's have a look. The importance of ethics, like I just told you, it's an extremely important role because we're dealing with subjectivity, there's prospectivity, there's immaturity of the data that we need to take into account. So it's transitioned, as it is being transitioned from voluntary to mandatory, which it's not yet. Ethical behavior becomes critical. As soon as you've got something that now becomes mandatory, it means that people are going to try and take advantage, and there needs to be ethics involved. So the overview of the actual publication, if you go and follow the download, this is what the front page looks like, or the top page, or the top half of the page. It is a very useful summary. It's 5 pages long, and it was issued by the IESBA staff in April. So this follows the ED that was recently released. The ED was actually only released in May. It was approved. The proposed ED was published in January, and the staff then went ahead and said, well, you know what, it's taking so long to get the actual ED out. Let's just do this document now as a summary. So the summary still is valid even though it was actually published before the ED. So what this summary does is it gives us an at-a-glance overview of the ED. So let's go and have a look at what's included in here. Some of the most important aspects. So this includes, obviously, like I said, it's for use by all SAPs and also for use by PAs that are involved in sustainability reporting. SAPs, regardless of their professional backgrounds, normally if they are involved in sustainability assurance engagements. In the summary, they break it down into these 4 sections, and this is why I call it the table of contents. They basically look at what is the exposure draft all about, why are these proposed standards being developed, and then they look at the sustainability reporting and the assurance standards, and then they go and say, well, let's go and have a look at what is included when we talk about sustainability assurance, and what are we talking about when we talk about sustainability reporting in more detail. So this is how they break it down in the report or in the summary. You know, we've got our reporting standards and we've got the sustainability reporting standards, which at the moment is IFRS S1 and IFRS S2. Has been released? Fine. So that takes care of how to present and disclose the information. Then we've got the assurance standards, and for that we've got IESSA 5000, IESSA 5000. That is on assurance engagements for sustainability specifically. Then we've got the ethics side, which is the green one, and here is where we're talking about IESSA together with the ED at the moment, but it is the standards. So the red is the accounting, the blue, if you will, is the assurance side, and the green is the ethics. Okay, so that's how everything fits together in terms of sustainability. And then they give us this nice little table which talks about how this is affecting SAPs and what they must worry about. So if you are in the sustainability assurance realm, you need to be worried about that. Okay. If you are busy as a PA with sustainability reporting, you need to worry about this. Okay. So I'm not going to go into any detail at this stage, but I wanted to just show you the nice little summary that they give us. And I mean, this in the ED is masses and masses of pages. Right. So just so that you know that this summary is definitely worth its weight in gold. The project timeline, as per the ED, in May this year, was the closing date for comments on the ED, because they did issue it, and it was actually done in June because they issued it in May. So then they said that they are going to go and look at all the responses to the ED. They'll do a full review of the comments, and they'll do a first read on the revised proposals. What I call the logistics in between, we are looking at getting the final pronouncement, the final IESSA standards on sustainability by December this year. So IESBA will then coordinate with the IEESB to agree on what the effective date is for the ethics standards and ISA 5000, which is the international standard of sustainability assurance. So that's the auditing or the assurance, the blue section that we spoke about. Right. They are busy with the blue section. They've already done the red section, which is IFRS S1 and IFRS S2. So if you can picture in your mind this 5-page summary, if you know nothing about sustainability and you think this doesn't affect you, it really does. Even if you are just busy with sustainability reporting, your clients will probably climb on the sustainability reporting bandwagon because a lot of the users of the financials will be requesting that. So they will be driving the disclosure of that in the financials, either via IFRS S1 or IFRS S2, in which case you will then have certain ethical obligations, either as a SAP or as a PA, depending on whether you are busy with the assurance engagement in terms of ISA 5000 or whether you are busy with your sustainability reporting in your capacity as a PA. Right, so you need to always refer to the full exposure draft, and the separate ESV that I did on this will go into more detail on what's included in here, what's included in the explanatory memorandum, so that you can look at it. I have given you the links to both these documents, but I wanted to just make sure that these are the main source. Okay, and the summary that we are looking at today is a summary of this. Okay, so let's have a look to the links, or at the links here. We've got the executive summary, which is the actual source document. There's the link for that. And then I've got the exposure draft and the actual explanatory memorandum from the previous page. And I've given you those two links as a bonus. Right. So you're more than welcome to go and follow those links to download anything. If you have questions or you still need more detail, remember that sustainability is by no means cast in stone at this stage. So there will still be a lot of questions that come forth. And I'm thinking as soon as it becomes effective, with the standards being issued in 2024, effective date probably in 2025 somewhere, but we need to get ready for this so that we are geared. Right. So if you need further information, please go and have a look at our technical alerts that are published daily. You can follow SA Accounting Academy on LinkedIn. You can also subscribe and follow us on our YouTube channel. There's the link for that. And then on the YouTube channel, you'll find in excess of 160 TSVs that I've already done. Short little 10-15 minute summaries like this one. You can also refer to the IESSA website for a wide variety of webinars on demand. Those are either webinars that were done as a live event and we've got the recordings for you, or they were pre-recorded, doesn't matter. But you can obtain all the information together with the slides and whatnot and listen to those at your own leisure. And then last but not least, to remain up to date, please join our MCLU family to attend one webinar per month on the latest compliance and legislation updates. Right. So that then, ladies and gentlemen, is it on an overview and the summary on the IESSA sustainability standards from an ethical standpoint. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.